Hi, welcome back, guys. This is your friend. Welcome to Fanfiction World with another fiction. What if Deku had a quirk that made him irresistible? Now, before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. If you more want video like this, now let's get into the fanfic. Deku was face to face with a bird-headed monster, who the leader called Namu. He also learned the leader's name was Shigaraki from the conversation he heard earlier. Now Shigaraki had just ordered Namu to attack, and Deku was in his first true battle. Let's do this. Deku ran at Namu, and it ran at him as well. Once close, Deku hit it in the gut with a 20% Detroit smash. But to his surprise, the creature didn't even budge an inch. Haha, nice try, kid. But that won't work on Namu since he has a quirk called shock absorption. Namu then punched Deku back and sent him flying into a wall. When he looked up, he saw Namu standing right over him, who then threw him back to where he was standing a moment ago. Damn. This thing is tough, and I don't think my pheromones will work on it either. Not that I want them to. Maybe if I use some long-range attacks, I can hold it off long enough for help to arrive. Deku then powered up to 25% and began shooting Delaware smashes at Namu. It dodged some of them, but when it did hit him, he was pushed back a little bit. Ha, I knew it. Shock absorption protects him from direct attacks, but it won't do as well against air pressure attacks. I just need to keep this up. Deku continued to hit Namu with Delaware smashes. Shigaraki began to get irritated. Damn this kid. How does he have this power? I can't let him embarrass us like this. Guess I'll have get my hands dirty after all. Shigaraki then touched the floor with his hands, and the floor began to crumble towards Deku. When it reached him, Deku jumped away from it at the nick of time. Now Namu. Deku then felt a large hand grab him by the neck, and after that it slammed him into the ground. Deku was then pinned to the ground by Namu's large foot. He tried to push it off, but even with 25% power, he couldn't make it budge at all. Don't bother, kid. This beautiful creature right here not only has shock absorption, it also has a strength enchantment quirk that makes him as strong as All Might. You're better off just laying there and wait for it to kill you. Deku wiped the blood of his mouth and tried to think of a way to escape. Namu was immune to his smash attacks. His pheromones were also useless in this situation, which was a good thing, honestly. Namu then punched Deku in the gut and then grabbed him and threw him across the floor. Deku got up slowly and coughed up some blood. Not bad, but I'm not done yet. Deku then put his fist up and smiled. Back at the entrance, Yaoyorozu has just finished sealing 13's wounds. She then looked at the rest of the class and saw that Fumikage and Sato had arrived while she was busy. Hey guys, Miss 13 will be all right. How Izuku do? Momo stopped mid-sentence when she looked at the plaza and saw Deku bleeding and tired. Izuku, he's in trouble. We have to help him. Momo shouted as she Nathan to move towards the staircase. No, Momo. Uraraka grabbed her by the hand. You can't help him. You would just put yourself in danger. I can't just stand here and do nothing, Momo said with tears in her eyes. Before anyone can say anything else, the entrance doors burst open and out came a figure everyone was happy to see. I am here. All Might, Momo said. You have to help Izuku. He's fighting some sort of monster. All Might looked at the plaza to see his successor fighting a bird-head monster and appeared to be losing. His signature smile suddenly faded as he looked at the student and said, Fear not, I will save him. I will save all of you. With a burst of speed, All Might charged at the battle in order to save the future symbol of peace. Back with Deku. Namu continued to beat on Deku. The only reason he hadn't fallen is because of One for All. Deku knew that he couldn't fight much longer, but he couldn't give up. I have to keep going. A true hero fights until he can't move. Enough with the hero talk. Namu, finish him. Namu then charged at Deku, and with no way of escape, He closed his eyes to brace himself. But there was a loud boom, and when Deku opened his eyes, he saw his mentor blocking the attack and pushed Namu back. "All Might," Deku said in joy. "Fear not, young Midoriya, I am here." All Might then ran up to Namu and punched his other face. But the Namu was unfazed and immediately punched him back. "All Might, this thing has shock absorption. Your pinches won't affect it." "Shock absorption, huh? That would be an issue for someone else, but not for me." All Might then charged up a full-power Detroit smash right at Noma's chest. The pinched collared directly with him, and it blew a hole right through Noma's body. "All right," Deku shouted while the others at the entrance cheered as well. But their cheering soon turned into gasp when they saw the Namu stand there and the hole in his chest begin to regenerate. "What? It has more than one quirk? That shouldn't be possible. The only way it could be is... No, it couldn't be him." While All Might was thinking that, Namu took this opportunity to charge at him. All Might regained himself just in time to counterattack it. The two then engaged in a back-and-forth battle of Namu was aborting All Might's attacks. All Might was taking clear damage. Namu the punched All Might in his injured spot, and All Might found himself at the monster's mercy. "I can't just stand here and let him die. Not after what he's taught me." Deku thought himself as he began to move. But he stopped. Everyone stopped actually when the half of Noma's body suddenly became invaded in ice. "Stay away from my teacher," a voice said blankly. It was Todoroki. He used his ice to freeze Namu, so All Might could get away from it. "Zero, get back to the others. Leave this to the rest of us." "Okay, be careful." Arrow then made his way to the entrance where the other students were. Todoroki then continued to freeze Namu, but the creature kept breaking out of the ice and headed for him. Suddenly Namu was hit with an explosion to the face. "Hey ugly, fight me if you want a challenge." It was Katsuki with Kirishima by his side. "Kaken, Kirishima, you guys are here, great. Me and Todoroki will help All Might with this thing. You guys keep the leaders off our backs," Deku said, pointing to Shigaraki and Kurogiri. "Sure thing, man," Kirishima said. "Normally I hate taking orders, but I got to score to settle with that smoke screen, so I'll make an exception," Katsuki said. "And watch out for his quirk. He turned the floor into dust just by touching it. He could do the same to you guys." The two charged at the villains and Shigaraki tried to use his decay to crumble the floor they were on. But Katsuki simply flew over it with his explosions and almost landed a hit on Shigaraki. But Kurogiri teleported them away at the last second. The two continued to attack them with the same results. But Kurogiri was slowly losing his energy thanks to the damage of his metal plate. Meanwhile, Deku and Todoroki helped All Might attack Namu, with Todoroki freezing him and Deku punching him. All Might then got an idea. "Listen boys, I know how to beat him. If he has shock absorption, then he has the weakness of it. If we can do enough damage to him, we should be able to stun him. Then I can deliver the final blow." "Understood, sir," Deku said as he hit Namu with a 25% smash. Kirishima and Katsuki attacked the villain. Katsuki Gauntlet was now charged, and he launched a powerful explosion at Shigaraki. But Kurogiri used his quirk to warp it back at Katsuki. The blast hit him directly and Katsuki laid on the ground with burns on his body. "Katsuki," Kirishima said, "Deku, we can't fight these guys for much longer." Deku heard this and started going beyond 25%. Deku and Todoroki continued to attack Namu. But Todoroki's body was starting to freeze from using his quirk too much, and Deku was getting tired. Namu saw this and quickly punched Todoroki away and swatted Deku away. All Might then tried to attack Todoroki, but he was then grabbed in his injured spot by Namu. As All Might screamed in pain, Deku got up and saw his mentor in trouble. "Damn it, I have to do something." Deku slowly stood up. "I will not fail him. I will not fail him." With those words, a black force came out of Deku's body and grabbed Namu. Everyone couldn't believe what they were seeing. Namu was being held in place by Deku. Not by his hands, but with something Might wanted to know what this was, but realized he had more important matters. Using all his strength, All Might yelled, "Texas Smash!" And a sonic boom was created. Namu was sent flying through the roof of the USJ. The black tentacle-like thing from Deku's body continued to flail around like crazy. That's when Aizawa used his quirk to erase Deku's powers. The black tentacle then disappeared and Deku collapsed on the floor, with sore arms and legs and a few broken ribs. Kurogiri was now trying to teleport him and Shigaraki away, all while he was shouting and throwing a tantrum like a child. No fair. Namu was supposed to kill you. And that kid wasn't supposed to have that black thing. He must have cheated. Sir, we must leave now. The teachers will be here soon, and my energy is running low. If we don't leave now, Kurogiri was cut off when a gunshot was heard and Shigaraki was shot in the shoulder. It was Snipe and the other UA teachers. Kurogiri grabbed Shigaraki and warped them back to their hideout, all while Shigaraki was screaming that he will be back to kill All Might and Deku. All Might and Aizawa went to Deku and saw he was still concussion, but he was injured. Izuku, how did you do that? Aizawa asked. I don't know, but like you said, sir, you can't be a pro with only one trick. Deku laughed weakly, and All Might began to cough up blood. I need to get you back to Recovery Girl, you and young Bakugo. What about your time, sir? I should have enough for a quick run back to the school. Just make sure you hold on. All Might then picked up Deku and went to get Katsuki, all while the other teachers rounded up the remaining villains. Soon, there were reporters outside the USJ that had a lot of questions. The police were also there to arrest the villains. They also found Namu in the area and quickly appeared him before he could make a move. The teachers told the students to get on the bus, and Aizawa would drive them back. Everyone got on and headed back to UA. Back at UA, Katsuki awoke to find himself and Deku in Recovery Girl's office. They laid there and waited to be treated Recovery Girl. Deku, she shouted. What did I tell you about hurting yourself? Sorry, ma'am. Save it, just let me heal you both. She then kissed them on the forehead, but for some reason she kissed Deku for a longer time. She claimed it was because his injuries were worse than Katsuki's, but they both knew the real reason. That's when Nezu came in to talk to the boys. Well, this has been an unexpected day, hasn't it? Principal Nezu, what are you doing here? I thought you were handling the reporters, Deku asked. I told the teachers to handle them. I had to come here to tell you two something important. What is it? You two did well today. The students claim that you, Midoriya, fought the monster single-handedly. You even displayed some sort of new technique. Could you show it to me, please? Sorry, sir, but I don't know how to do it again. It just happened randomly. Oh, I see. Well, anyway, excellent job today, boys. Although I recommend you two don't do something that reckless again. At least not until you have your hero licenses. Yes, sir, Deku said. Whole Katsuki just shook his head yes. Also, I took the liberty of calling your mothers and informing them of what happened. They should be waiting for you both at the entrance gate. Really? Okay. Deku said, while Katsuki shook his head once more. The two were given permission to leave. They made their way to the exit. Once there, they saw their mothers and Deku rushed to his, while Katsuki just walked at a normal pace. Mom, Deku said as he ran up to her. She looked at him with tears in her eyes. Oh, Izuku, my baby, are you okay? Are you hurt at all? Inko said, hugging Deku as hard as she could. I'm so glad you and Katsuki are okay. Me and Mitsuki were so worried about you too. Yeah, it sure seems that way, Deku said as he looked at Katsuki, who was being yelled at by his mother. Katsuki Bakugo, how dare you do something so reckless? How stupid are you? What was I supposed to do, you, ya old hag? Stand there and let myself be killed. Don't talk back to me, mister. You're in enough trouble as it is. Deku then broke free of his mother's grasp and wails towards them. Hey, Katsuki, you did good today. You too, Deku. Don't praise him, Izuku. He does deserve it. What he deserves is the grounding he's getting. Mitsuki said. What? You can't ground me for being a hero. You're not a hero, you're an idiot. If anyone is a hero, it's Izuku. He's the only reason you're still alive. You're lucky to have him as a friend. Not to mention he actually listens to his mother. Maybe he can teach you how to be a better son. Enough, Deku shouted at Mitsuki, which surprised everyone. Deku, what our Inko began to say, but was cut off. No, Mom. I can't stand here and let her say that stuff. Listen, Miss Bakugo, Kaken is not an idiot. He's a hero. He fought off an army of villains and helped me take out the monster. Also, he's not lucky to have me as a friend. I'm lucky to have him as a friend. And lastly, he doesn't listen to you because you don't know what you're talking about. If anyone needs to learn from someone, you need to learn how to be a better mother from my mother. Deku took in a few breaths and saw everyone staring at him in shock. Mitsuki had a blank expression on her face and began to walk off. Katsuki stood behind a bit and whispered to Deku, You didn't have to do that. I didn't have to, but I wanted to. Deku gave him a smile and the two fist bump. Katsuki went to catch up with his mother, while Deku stood back with his mother. Wow, Izuku, I've never seen you talk that way before. Neither have I. A feminine voice came from behind them. They turned to find Uraraka. Hey Deku, can I talk to you for a moment? Yes, he can, Inko answered for him excitedly. Have fun, baby. Inko walked towards the exit, and when she was far enough, the two began to talk. What a day, huh? Uraraka said. You and Katsuki were very brave. Yeah, thanks. The move you did in the end, what was that? I don't really know, but I'll find out. Oh, well, anyway, thanks for everything. All I did was stall for time. No, you didn't. You also told us about your quirk. That will make being around you easier for everyone. Deku realized that he explained his quirk to everyone on the bus ride to the Yasji. He knew what he had to say next. So, I guess you understand what I meant the other day about fake love. Actually, Deku, I came to tell you that you were wrong. Dekus looked confused. What? I was wrong. No one has fake love for you. Everyone, at least everyone I know, really cares for you. Not because of your quirk, but because of who you are. You're probably right. Of course I am. If not, then that means your mom or Katsuki don't like you for who you are. What? No, I've known Katsuki before my quirk activated. I know that he likes me for real. And my mom is the same way. She would love me with or without my quirk. Then why do you think everyone else is different? Because I believe that my quirk was manipulative and villainous. So I promised myself that I would never have a relationship because of it. What? That's ridiculous. Your quirk is not villainous. It just saved our class's lives today. And why can't you have a relationship? You deserve one. Because I thought it would be cruel to make a girl fall in love with me unnaturally. Deku said, looking down. That's not true. Deku looked up to Uraraka. Just because your quirk makes them interested in you doesn't mean they love you unnaturally. Besides, if you ask me, I think it's more cruel to make a girl fall in love with you, then turn her away without giving her a chance. Deku was surprised. He never thought of it that way before. All these girls that confessed to him, he turned them down because he didn't want to hurt their maybe all this time he has been hurting their feelings more by saying no without hesitation. Anyway, I got to get back home. My parents are probably worried sick. You should go catch up with your mom too. By the way, the school is giving us a few days off, so you can probably spend some time with your mom. Thanks, Uraraka. I will. See you in a few days. Yes, see ya, Ochako said as she ran off through the exit, and soon she was out of sight. Deku went to catch up with his mom, who was smiling, and asked how his conversation went. It went good, Mom. Let's go home now. Why? Is she gonna meet us there? Why would she? Didn't you invite her over? Isn't that what you do for your girlfriend? Deku just walked off, and his mom followed him. On their trip home, Inko kept asking Deku questions about who his girlfriend was and when she would meet her. Deku was losing his temper and decided that when they got home, he would put an end to his mom's bad habit. Wait, I'm confused, Inko said as she locked the apartment door. Is the brunette your girlfriend, or did you choose the Yaoyorozu girl? I'm okay with either one, Mom, stop it. Inko flinched at this, and Deku slowly turned to face her. Why do you keep forcing me to date some random girl? So you can brag about it to people? So you can use me to get money from her? Or maybe because you care more about me having a trophy wife than me being in love? Don't you care about my feelings? Don't you want me to date a girl I really like, instead of just some random pretty girl? Deku inhaled and realized he had lashed out at 2 women in a single day. Must be a new record. Inko began to tear up and went to hug her son. Baby, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for you to feel that way. Inko began to cry into Deku's shoulder, and Deku realized he overdid it a little bit. Mom, it's okay. I know you didn't mean to, but you still did. The reason I'm telling is so you can stop. So you don't want me to help you find a girlfriend, Inko said, weeping. No, Mom. I just want to focus on school. Besides, I don't need a girlfriend right now. I get enough love from you as it is. Really? Inko lifted her head off his shoulder to look him in the face. Yes, really. With all you do for me, I couldn't ask for a better mother. Deku hugged her tightly, and she started crying again. Oh, sweetheart, thank you. Again, I'm sorry for interfering with your life too much. I promise to stop. I won't force you to find a girlfriend anymore. Thanks, Mom, I love you. I love you more, baby. Inko finally let go of him. Now how about we make something to eat and go to bed? Sure, that sounds great. And to show you I'm grateful for you, how about I make it myself? Deku said. Really? You would do that? Thank you, baby. No problem, Mom. Deku then made some tuna rolls and ate them with his mother. They turned out to be very good. Looks like Inko was the only good cook in the house. After their meal, Deku got ready for bed, and just when he laid down, he heard the door open. He looked to see his mother wearing a nightgown. Mom, what is it? I'm going to sleep here. What? Why? I almost lost you today. You don't think that makes me scared to leave you alone? Besides, we used to sleep together when you were younger. Yeah, but now I'm bigger, and we may not fit in the bed. Nonsense. Move over, please. Inko got in the bed and pulled Deku in close, burying his face into her bust. This was the real reason why Deku didn't want to sleep with his mother. But she made a point about being worried for him, so he didn't say anything. I'm sorry I scared you today, Mom, Deku said, looking into her eyes. It's okay, baby. I should have known that this would happen since you're training to be a hero. But I still shouldn't put you through that. I promise next time there is an attack, I will be strong enough to protect myself. I won't make you scared anymore. Really? Thanks, baby. Inko then kissed him on the forehead and said, Good night, Izuku. Good night, Mom. Deku then went to sleep, happy that he cleared his issue with his mother. He also thought about what Uraraka said and felt that she was probably right. But he still had to focus on his training first. Today showed him that he needs to focus more on One for All, and that new technique he used at the USG. He would talk to All Might about when he got back to school and ask for more training. Deku wanted to get as strong as he can so he would never scare his mom again. Meanwhile, at an unknown bar. Damn it all, Shigaraki said as he recklessly touched everything he saw, turning it to dust. That wasn't supposed to happen. Shigaraki, calm down, Kirigiri said. Keep this up, and we'll have to find a new hideout. Don't tell me to calm down. Not after what happened. Not only did All Might survive, we lost a Namu, and many of our henchmen. Also, the news is saying that Namu has been taken into custody. It's only a matter of time before they put two and two and discover where the rest are. Well then, we must find a new location for them immediately. Kurogiri said. True, but that won't help us with our other problem. That kid. What kid? A voice from the monitor on the table said. The kid that went toe-to-toe with Namu. The kid that used some sort of tentacle attack. The kid who is the reason for this defeat. I'm sorry I let you down, Master. Shigaraki said, bowing his head. Don't worry, Tamura. It was my mistake for not accounting for the student's abilities. I promise not to make the same mistake again. Thank you, Master. No thanks necessary. Now I want you to listen closely. This boy you speak of, if he's truly an issue, then you must learn how to beat him. The UA Sports Festival is coming up. That will be the perfect opportunity to learn his strengths and weaknesses. Your job is to observe him so the next time you encounter him, you will defeat him. And while you're at it, try to recruit some new allies. Yes, Master, Shigaraki said. And the monitor with the letters of foe turned off. When it did, the mysterious figure spoke to himself. So All Might, you found yourself a successor already. Well, so have I. We shall see whose is more powerful soon enough. Kurogiri, Shigaraki said. Tell Jiren to start searching for more members for the league. We're gonna need them the next time we attack. Also start searching for a new hideout for us. I have a feeling we're gonna need one soon. Meanwhile, in Hasu City, a mysterious man dressed in red and black clothing and carrying an array of swords and knives looks over the city. Ah, such a beautiful city. But it would be more beautiful if it wasn't filled with the horrible trash that people call heroes. They're no heroes, just greedy bastards who want to be television. The man pulled out one of his knives and licked his lips sadistically. But fear not, good people, for I, the hero Killer Stain, will wipe out this plague with my own bare hands. I will bring honor back to real heroes like All Might soon enough. Deku woke up to find his mother still holding him close to her. Deku smiled at seeing her. She looked so peaceful when asleep. Good morning, Mom. Deku whispered to her, and she slowly woke up. Good morning, baby, she said, smiling back at him. I'm glad you're up. Now I can make you breakfast. You mean we can make breakfast? Izuku, you helped me yesterday. And I'll help you again. I have a few days off from school. That's how I want to spend them. Thanks, baby. Inko kissed him on the forehead and went to the kitchen with Deku following behind her. Together they made eggs and toast and ate together, while Deku told her about his school life, and Inko talked about her work life. After dinner they went out, picked out stuff that Deku would like, while Deku would pick out stuff his mother would like. They would then go out to eat, and when they got home they would watch a movie together. This continued on for a few days until it was time for Deku to go back to school. Deku woke up to find his mother wasn't there. She was instead making breakfast in the kitchen like she normally does. Hey, Mom. Hey, baby. Ready to go back to school? Sure am. I can't wait to get back to my training. I need to get stronger so I can beat up any villains that show up at school. That's very brave of you, baby. But I don't think that will happen again anytime soon. At least I hope it doesn't, for the sake of your school. Yeah, you're right, Mom. I'll just eat breakfast and be on my way. Okay. But you promise to be more safe from now on, right? Yeah, Mom. I don't want to scare you like I did during the UST. Thanks, baby. Inko said as she finished making Deku some pancakes and brought them to him. After he ate them, he hugged his mother goodbye and left for school. Once he got to school, he noticed that people were staring at him. Not just the girls, but everyone he got to class, everyone immediately rushed up to him and asked him if he was okay. I'm fine, guys, Deku said. Are you sure of that, Izuku? Yuga asked. You seemed pretty injured after that battle. Yuga's right, Deku. Mina said. Are you sure you're all better? Glad to hear that, Yaoyorozu said. I was really worried for you, Izuku. What you did was very brave. Thanks, by the way. You can call me Deku if you want. Really? Isn't that what your friends call you? Yaoyorozu said. Exactly. Deku smiled, and Yaoyorozu's face went red. What did I tell you guys about socializing? A voice came from the door. The class turned to see a badge-up Aizawa. Sir? What are you doing here? Shouldn't be at the hospital, Ida asked. And let you guys slack off? You wish. Aizawa told everyone to sit down as he went to his desk. Once everyone was seated, Aizawa made an announcement. I'm proud of all of you for how you handled yourselves at the USG, but your battle is not over yet. The class went silent and thought he was going to say more villains had shown up. That's when Aizawa spoke up saying, a sports festival is in exactly 2 weeks, so you all need to prepare. The whole class then cheered, excited to be competing on live television. Don't get too excited. Remember, this isn't a regular competition. This will be your chance to get noticed by pros so you can get internships afterwards. You will also only get 3 of these in your whole high school life, so you must make them count. Yes, sir, the class said in unison. The rest of class went. By lunch came. Deku sat with his friends as usual. That's when Katsuki started a conversation with him. Hey Deku, I need to talk to you about my mom. Look, Kaken, I know you didn't want me to. It's not that. It's about she's been acting. What do you mean? I should start from the beginning. Katsuki's flashback. Katsuki woke up to the smell of something delicious. He went downstairs to see it was his mom cooking bacon. She didn't usually make breakfast this early. Hey old hag, what are you doing up so early? Good morning, sweetie. Just making some breakfast for you and your father, Mitsuki said sweetly. Katsuki was confused. He just called her old hag, and she didn't get upset. Was she feeling okay? Katsuki's father came down just in time to see her put the food on the table. Wow, honey. Thanks for making this for us. Don't let your guard down, Dad. This could be some sort of joke. She doesn't just wake up this early for no reason, you know. Katsuki, don't be ridiculous. Your mother. Before he could say any more, Mitsuki raised her voice at him. Don't you dare call our son ridiculous, Masaru. He has every right to be suspicious. After all, I haven't been the best mother in the world lately. Katsuki and his father were surprised. She yelled at her husband for taking her side. Something was definitely up, and Katsuki had a feeling of what it was. For the next few days, Mitsuki would continue to treat Katsuki with absolute kindness, even when he didn't return the feeling. She would also try to take him out and buy him gifts, but he would just turn them down. Katsuki didn't know how to feel about this. It felt nice not to get yelled at, but it also felt guilty. Also this morning when Katsuki was getting ready to leave, his mom gave him a hug and told him she loved him. Katsuki didn't say it back, but it didn't seem to bother her. End of flashback. So wait, is this an issue for you? Deku asked. Kinda. I mean, I don't know how to feel about this. It's nice not to be yelled at, but it feels kinda wrong knowing why she's doing this. Kaken is sorry you feel that way, but I don't think this is an issue. Your mom's trying to act more loving. That should be a good thing. Just give it some time. I'm sure you'll get used to it. You could be right. Besides, it's not like she's that bad. At least she doesn't try to kiss me on the lips in front of class. Katsuki laughed, and soon everyone else joined. Hey dude, that was a one-time thing. And it was all the way back in kindergarten, Deku said with his cheeks red. Before anyone else could say anything, a bulking figure came behind Deku and tapped him on the shoulder before saying, Greetings, young Midoriya. Would you care to join me for the remainder of lunch? I wish to have an important discussion with you. Sure, all might, sir. Just let me get my stuff. Deku gathered his belongings, and the two went off to have lunch together. Wow, All Might wants to have lunch with him? Ibara said. Everyone just loves Izuku, don't they? Ibara, you have no idea. Uraraka said. With Deku and All Might. Deku and All Might continued to walk down them. They reached a corner. Deku accidentally ran into a girl making the same turn. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you, Deku said. No, it's cool, said the girl with blue hair. I'm just in a. The girl's face started to blush, and she began to stutter. Hey, are you Izuku Midoriya? Yes, I am. Oh, I'm Nejar Hado, and I was wondering if I could tell to you. Maybe after I'm done with lunch, I have to talk with Mr. All Might here. All Might? Oh wow, I didn't notice you, sir. Well, there's a first for everything, I guess. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. I hope so, bye. She waved at him uncontrollably. Deku just thought to himself, this happens every time. Deku and All Might enter Principal Neza's office. They then sat down and All Might reverted his true form before saying, Young Midoriya, we need to talk about your powers. Before we do, sir, I need to tell you something. I had one of those dreams. You did? When? The day before the USG. I was floating in this dark place. There were some people who I couldn't make out. But one of them said, you're the 9th user. Then I woke up. When I did, I had this feeling in my arm, and then it just vanished. Wait, you had a feeling in your arm? Does that have something to do with that new technique you used? I don't know. I mean, it felt similar to it, but I don't know what that means. I think I do. All Might said, it must have something to do with Degoro. Who? All Might then stood up and got an old picture book. He then showed Deku a picture of a man who looked kind of villainous. Who is this? His name was Degoro Banjo, and he was the 5th user of One for All. Really? But what does that have to do with? All Might cut him off. Degoro didn't just have One for All. He had his own quirk called Black Whip. It allowed him to create black energy tendrils from his body. This was very useful for capturing enemies and increasing mobility by latching onto objects. Wait, so you're saying that I somehow have his quirk? It appears so. I don't know how, but One for All appears to be transferring more quirks into your body. Strange, since it didn't do that for me. But hey, I'm not here to complain. Wait, sir. So now that we know what this is, do you think you can teach me how to use it? Of course, young Midoriya. You're gonna need it for the sports festival and for becoming a pro. Also, there's something else I wanted to talk to you about. What it is, sir? At the USG, when we were fighting that monster, it had more than one quirk. The only way that would be possible is through a man named All for One. All for One. Yes, remember that story I told you about One for All? Well, he was the man from that story. He's the one who has killed all the previous users, including my master. He's also the one who gave me this wound on my side. I believed him to be dead, but it looks like I was wrong. He is back, and it won't be long before he resurfaces. However, this is where you come in. What do you mean, sir? If All for One does resurface, and I have to face him and don't make it back, I need to make sure there is still hope, which means I need to make you as ready as possible. Are you saying All Might cut him off? Yes, young Midoriya. Not only will I help you master Black Whip, I will train you with One for All as well. For the next 2 weeks, we will meet in the forest for hardcore training. You said your max output is 25%, right? Well, let's see if we can make it 50%. Really? That means a lot to me, sir. I want to get as strong as possible. I'm sure you do. Especially for the sports festival, it will be your debut, to show the world what you can do. All Might then turned into his buff form and said, Get ready, young Midoriya, for your real training begins after school today. When the festival arrives, you will show the fruits of your training and have the chance to tell the world that I am here. Isn't that your catchphrase, sir? It is more than a catchphrase. It is a way to show people that there is no need to be afraid. Are you willing to live up to those words? Yes, sir. Then meet me after school in the woods, and we shall begin your training. Yes, sir. Deku shook All Might's hand and went to leave the room. When he opened the door, he was surprised to find the blue-haired girl from earlier standing right outside it. Nejire, what are you doing here? How much did you hear? Oh, I didn't hear anything. I was just standing here waiting for you. I have so many questions to ask you, like what's your quirk? How did you get it? How do you sleep with it? She's got interesting questions, doesn't she? Deku thought to himself before saying, Nejire, ask me your questions on the way to my next class. Okay, Izuku, let's hurry up then. Deku and Nejire walked with each other while talking about their quirks and who they are. That's when Nejire asked her biggest question. Izuku, would you be interested in interning for someone I know? Intern? That's not for a couple of weeks. I know, but I wanted to let you know that someone important will be watching you at the festival because I told them about you. If they're impressed with you, then they'll give you an offer. Really? Well, that's good to know. Thanks for telling me. No problem. Nejire said, anyway, I gotta get going. I got my own sports festival to prepare, you know. Yeah, I hope you do well, senpai. Thank you too. And you don't have to call me senpai. Just call me Nejire. But you're 2 grades above me. I suppose to call you that. It's okay. Everyone calls me by my name. Okay, well, in that case, you can call me Deku. All my friends do. Really? Nejire began to blush. Well, okay, B. Nejire then tripped on herself and fell on the floor. Are you okay, Nejire? I'm good, she said, getting up. Anyway, good luck on the festival. She then walked away while looking a bit embarrassed. When she was almost to class, she took out her phone and called someone. Tatsuma, I told him, so now you have to go. Very well. A female voice from the other end said. I hope he's as good as you say he is. I'm sure he is, ma'am. The rest of the day went by quickly. However, when it was time to leave, Katsuki went to open the door first, and when he did, the hallway was filled with other students. What do you guys want? Katsuki said. We came to see the class of troublemakers. A blonde-haired boy said with a cocky voice. Troublemakers? Kirishima asked. We got attacked by villains. How is that our fault? Yeah, and we would have all died if it wasn't for Izuku, Toru said, pointing to Deku. Oh, so you're the one who fought the monster? The one who people are starting to call the next All Might? It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Nito Monoma. Put it there, he said, holding out his hand. Deku began to raise his hand. That's when Monoma thought. Yes, it's working. Once he touches my hand, I'll be able to copy his quirk and see what it does. Just before Deku made contact with him, a girl with orange hair stepped between them and faced Deku. So you're Izuku Midoriya? She asked. Yeah. Well, my name is Itsuka Kendo, the class representative of 1B. I heard about what you did, and I'm very impressed. Thanks. That means a lot coming from a class representative. Oh, really? Kendo's began to blush. I don't know about that. Hey, Kendo, Monoma said behind her. Save the fangirling for later. I need to finish introducing myself. You already told him your name, Kendo said. But I didn't shake his hand. You can shake Kaken's hand. Please, like I'd touch one extra. Katsuki was about to say something, but before he did, Monoma was hit on the head by a large hand, which turned out to be Kendo's hand. Sorry about him. He forgets his manners sometimes. Your hand is that? Yes, it's my quirk. It's called Big Fist. Cool. Is this really why you all came here to talk with Deku? Katsuki asked. Maybe we did. Or maybe you came here to try to scope out the competition for the sports festival. Well, you all wasted your time. No, out of my way. Katsuki made his way through the crowd. Deku was about to follow, but was stopped by a bunch of random girls. Hey, you're Izuku, right? Well, here, take this. A girl with black hair handed him a letter. Deku knew exactly what this meant. Soon a bunch of other girls started handing Deku a letter and tried flirting with Himi. He managed to get away when a girl with green hair stepped in. Leave Izuku alone. He's trying to go home. Oh hey Ibara. Hey Izuku. What? You know each other? A girl said angrily. So the rumors were right. You have been sitting with him at lunch. Trying to get a head start, huh? The girls began to crowd around Ibara. Deku used this to escape. He felt bad leaving her to like that, but he had to get to All Might to begin his training. As he walked to the forest, he called his mom and told her that for the next 2 weeks he was going to come home late because he was going to do special training. She agreed and Deku met with All Might in his deflated form. Hello, young Midoriya. Ready to begin? As ready as I'll ever be, Deku said with a smirk on his face. All Might quickly turned into his buff form and said, then let the training begin. 13 days later. It was sundown. A deflated All Might and Deku were in the forest checking Deku's results. Okay, Midoriya, power up to your max full cowling. Yes, sir. Deku began to charge to his max, and he soon found himself at 50% power. Once he started going over that, his body started hurting. He quickly powered down. Very good. Now about your other training. Don't worry, sir. I've been practicing it at home a lot. I used it to help pick things off the floor. Watch. Deku suddenly launched a black tendril from his hands and quickly pulled them back in. Excellent work, Midoriya. Thanks, All Might. Although you should know that I can only use the move when I'm at 5% power. Also, I can't use it for long. I can only use it for about a second. If I go longer, then my arms start to hurt. Interesting. It's still good progress. Also, something I've been wondering. How do you explain this power to people? You can't exactly tell them. It's because it was passed down to you. Don't worry, All Might. I just tell them the same thing I tell my mom. That I've learned how to turn my pheromones into solid air energy and can use them to grab things. And people believe you. People will believe everything I say, sir. Deku said with a smirk. I'm sure they do. All jokes aside, you're now ready for the sports festival. I know I am, sir. Then you should go home and get some rest. I will, sir. Thank you for the training. You're welcome. Good luck at the festival. Deku then walked home to find a very happy Inko sitting on the couch. Mom, what's up? Inko rushed Deku and hugged him tightly. Oh baby, I can't wait until tomorrow. Why? Because you get to see me on TV. Even better, I'm gonna see you in person from the crowd. What? I got a call back from your principal, and he said I have VIP access. That means I not only get a front row seat, but I get access to the break rooms, so I can come see you before and after events. So you can introduce me to all your friends. Inko was jumping with joy. Wow, Mom, that's great. Deku said enthusiastically. He was a little worried about how she would talk to the girls and how the guys would talk to her. But he decided to forget about that and feel happy for her. Well, Mom, we should probably go to bed. Not until after we eat this fresh sushi I made for us. Inko pointed at the table full of all kinds of sushi types. Deku's eyes lit up, and he and Inko quickly ate the sushi. After their dinner, Deku said goodnight to his mother, and the two went to bed in their own rooms. Deku went to sleep thinking about how he would do at the festival. He needed to give it his absolute best. This was his chance to show everyone what he can do, and to get recognized by pros. But most of all, it was his chance to show people that he was here. Deku woke up and ate breakfast. His mom made his favorite breakfast and told him to go on ahead. Aren't we going together? No, I gotta get ready for the festival. It's not a dance, Mom. But I want to look good for when I meet your friends. Really? Deku was worried about how good she meant. But he didn't have the time to ask. Okay, Mom, see you there. See you, baby. Deku left the house, and instead of going to school, he walked to the stadium where the festival was being held. The stadium was full of civilians, and even a few pro-heroes. Deku knew that he couldn't hold back here. In the student room. "Well guys, looks like we have a challenge ahead of us," Uraraka said, looking very determined. "Wow, Uraraka," Mina said. "I didn't know you could be so serious. This is my chance to get closer to being a pro." "Of course, I'm serious." "Well, I'm glad you are, Uraraka," Deku said. "I want all of us to take this seriously. We are gonna be on TV after all." The whole class cheered, but one of them walked up to Deku. It was Todoroki. "Izuku," he said, "while I've come to respect you, today I must show everyone how powerful my ice is. So today, you are my rival." "Todoroki is right," Ida said. "We are all rivals today. I apologize in advance if I hurt any of you, but I must make my family proud." "Okay then," Deku said. "Let's all do our best out there. And by the way, Todoroki, I've come to respect you as well. I don't think you can beat me, but you're welcome to try." Todoroki got a determined look on his face and walked away. Kirishima, watching from the side, thought to himself, seeing the two strongest students go against each other will be one hell of a show. Present mic was then heard on the speakers. "Class 1A, please make your way to the field." The class then left the room and went to the open field. When they arrived, they were surrounded by cheering people and other first-year students. "Yo, yo, yo, welcome everyone to the a sports festival. I'm your host, Present Mike, and here is your co-host, Eraserhead." The crowd cheered for them, but Eraserhead just sat there looking tired. "Come on, Eraserhead, aren't you happy to be here?" "The only reason I'm here is because I drew the short straw. Let's just get this thing over with." "Well, happy to be here with you too," Present Mike said sarcastically. "Anyway, let's get this rockin' festival started. Here to announce the first event. You know her, you love her, especially if you're man. It's the R-rated heroine, Midnight." The stadium began to cheer, but calmed down when a whip was cracked. Everyone looked to see it was Midnight. There were wolf whistles and cheers, especially from the male audience. Midnight told them to stop, and when they did, she spoke into the mic. "Hello everyone, welcome to the sports festival. We have a lot of exciting events in store for you. But before we begin, we will hear an opening speech from Class 1A President, and my favorite student, Izuku Midoriya." Deku walked up to the stage, all while ignoring the cold stares he was getting from many of the male students. He figured he would have to say something at the festival, so he prepared the perfect speech. "Hello everyone, my name is Izuku, and like many people here, I want to be a pro hero. That's why I'm going to give it my absolute best today, and I hope everyone else does the same. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can all do, so let's give it our all, go beyond plus ultra." The stadium was filled with cheers, even the students cheered for him. Deku went back to his class and was praised for his speech. "Excellent work, Midoriya," Ida said. "Yeah, it almost makes me want to let you win the festival," Kirishima said jokingly. "Oh, you better not do that, Kirishima. If I'm gonna win, I want everyone to do their best." Deku raised his fist in the air. That's when Midnight announced the first event, a race. "Everyone get to the starting line, and wait for my signal," Midnight said, and everyone made their way to the stadium gate, where they would run 4 kilometers and encounter obstacles. Deku was ready though. He decided that he wouldn't hold back on this event or any events. Once everyone was lined up, Deku powered up to 50% full cowling and got in a starting position. Midnight then said, "Ready, set, go," as she cracked her whip. The race began with Todoroki creating an ice wall and freezing the floor in order to block the competition. This worked on most of them, but a few managed to overcome this attack. Katsuki used his quirk to make himself fly over the ice. Yaoyorozu was able to make a shield to break through the ice. And surprisingly, Mainta was able to use his sticky balls to get over the wall and walk over the ice. Todoroki continued to move forward until he was confronted by large robots. They were zero-pointer robots from the entrance exams. "Oops," President Mike said over the speakers. "Did I forget to mention the first obstacle of the race is some zero-pointers we had in storage?" "Aw well, better late than never, right?" President Mike laughed. "As much as I hate your laughter, I gotta say that was pretty funny," Eraserhead said. "Wow, that was almost a compliment." President Mike laughed and Eraserhead just put his head down. "Out of the way, icy hot," Katsuki shouted as he passed him and tried to attack the robots. However, Todoroki quickly made an ice wall and froze the robots in place. He then went around the robots and Katsuki went rushing after him shouting, "Get back here! No one steals my thunder and gets away with it." The two lead students keep moving until they got to a canyon. It looked bottomless, and the only way across were the platforms connected by wires. At least that was the case for the other students. "Ha! Is this the best they can do?" Katsuki said as he began to fly over the canyon. "Have fun in second place, icy hot. Don't get too cocky, Bakugo," Todoroki said, and he began to make an ice path for him to walk across the gaps in the canyon. The two soon got to the other side, leaving the other students to get across in their own ways. The two leaders soon reached the last obstacle, a minefield. "Careful, boys," President Mike said. "Those mines won't do any fatal damage, but they can probably stun you enough to come in last place." "Are you trying to scare them?" Eraserhead said. "Why is it working, President Mike? You could tell someone that they were gonna die, and they still wouldn't get scared because of that annoying voice of yours." "Okay, can you keep your comments related to the race, please?" President Mike said. "I don't have time for this," Todoroki said. Then he made an ice path across the field so he could run across it without triggering the mines. "Oh no you don't, icy hot," Katsuki shouts as he begins to fly over the field with his explosions. The two rush over the mines and dash toward the finish line while the other students are barely finishing the second obstacle. Todoroki and Katsuki push themselves as hard as they can. In the end, Todoroki crosses first. Todoroki just stands there completely ignoring Katsuki screaming at him in anger. When the rest of the students arrive, they congratulate Todoroki on getting first. Well, there it is, folks. The winner of the race is Shoto Todoroki. Now let's start the knee. President Mike is then cut off by midnight. Hold on. Why is he the winner when he didn't even finish first? What? Eraserhead asked. What are you talking? Eraserhead stopped when he noticed someone resting their head on Midnight's lap while she was feeding him grapes. Everyone's eyes went wide. It was Deku. Wait. Todoroki said, confused. Midoriya, why didn't you participate in the race? I did participate. I also won, Deku said with a smirk. That can't be. Todoroki said. I didn't see you during the race. None of us did, Minta said. Perhaps you should all see the footage, Midnight said. She then signaled President Miku was as confused as everyone else to play the race footage. The video played and zoomed in on Deku. When the race began, Deku vanished from the spot he was on. The camera then moved to the finish line, and a few seconds later Deku reappeared across the line and walked toward Midnight's podium. Everyone was bewildered. They were all so focused on the race that they completely missed the person who got first place. And no way, Kirishima said. Oh dear, Izuku managed to run 4 kilometers in mere moments, Yuka said. Oh, how could anyone be that fast? Yaoyorozu said. Pretty simple, really. Deku said, let me explain. Deku's flashback. Deku powered up to full cowling 50%, and when the signal was given, he ran as fast as he could. He ran past the 0-pointers so fast he didn't notice them. When he got to the canyon, he simply leaped over the whole thing in one bound. When he got to the minefield, he ran across it so fast that he didn't even make them explode. He then crossed the finish line and realized that everyone else was barely out of the gate. Oh, did I overdo it a little? Oh well, I'll just wait with midnight. Present Mike saw the finish line sensor go off and was shocked to see Deku standing there. What? How? Him and Eraserhead then played the race footage and it checked out. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, with a recorded breaking score of 13 seconds, Izuku Midoriya is the winner of the race. Rockin'. The crowd cheered at the top of their lungs as Deku walked over to Midnight's podium, and before she could say anything he spoke up. Miss Midnight, I completed the race a bit too early. Can I wait here with you? Sure. And again please call me Nimuri. Now put your head on my lap. No thanks. Do it, or I'll tell everyone you cheated, and you'll be disqualified. Okay. Deku rested his hard on her lap reluctantly. Do you like grapes? She asked. Flashback ends. And that's what happened, Deku said, finishing his story. After a few moments of silence, Present Mike finally spoke up. Well there it is folks. With a record-breaking time, the real winner of the first event is Izuku Midoriya. The crowd goes wild, especially Deku's classmates. They all rush up to congratulate him. Wow Deku, Uraraka said. You're amazing. She began to get a little too close. Thanks Uraraka. She's right Deku. Yaoyorozu said. You really are amazing. Yeah thanks Yaoyor. Deku's face went red, and he quickly turned away. Yaoyorozu was confused. That's when she felt a breeze on her chest. She looked down and realized she unbuttoned her shirt earlier to use her quirk, and it was still unbuttoned. Ah! She screamed. I'm sorry Yaoyorozu. No Deku, don't be sorry. Honestly, I don't mind being exposed, especially around you, she said almost seductively. They were too busy to notice they were both getting cold stares from both male and female students. But before anyone could say anything, Midnight spoke up. Okay, time to announce the second event, a cavalry battle. The top 42 students will team up in groups of 4 people at most. They will then try to nab the headbands of other teams in order to get the most points. Last place has 5 points, and each place above is 5 points more, except for first place, who has 10 million points. Oh, and if your team loses your headbands or falls over, you can still continue. You'll all have a 30-minute time limit to gain as many points as you can. The top 4 teams will move on to the last questions. No? Then start making your teams. You only have 15 minutes. 10 million? Deku thinks you himself. Now everyone is gonna come for me. How am I gonna get a... Hey Deku. A voice from behind him said. It was Mina with Ochako. You want to be on our team? What, you want? Hey Deku, want to join my team? Yaoyorozu asked from beside him. Oh. Hey, you're Izuku, right? A pink-haired girl said. Yeah, who are you? Oh, my name is Meihatsu. I'm amazed at the power you've displayed so far. I was wondering if you would allow me to be on your team. Well, Hey, back off girl. We asked him first, Mina snapped. Well, I asked him the nicest, so he will definitely choose me, Mei snapped back. If he's going to choose anyone, it's me, Yaoyorozu said to all of them. Right, Deku? Deku? They looked to see that he was gone, long gone even. Guess we came on too strong, Ochako said. Deku walked away from them, but not long after he was cornered by more people asking him to join their team, some even begging. Deku knew this had to be because of his pheromones, but he didn't have time to deal with this. This probably meant that everyone would go after him in a heartbeat, so he needed to find a team fast. Deku then realized that he didn't need a strong team. He figured his power alone could probably win the battle. So he searched around for anyone who looked available, and he found the person just in time. Really, Izuku? Minta asked. You want me to be your teammate? Yeah, I mean it's not like anyone else is gonna choose you, especially the girls. Deku said, being brutally honest. You're right. But this is my chance to change that. How? By teaming up with you, Everyone will think we're close friends or something. And since all the girls like you, then they'll start liking me as well, Minta said with a pervy smile. Deku wanted to tell him it wouldn't work out like that, but he didn't want to lose his chance of having him as a teammate. Sure, great idea, Minta, Deku said flatly. Deku now had his teammate and explained to him that he would be the rider, while Deku is the horse. Then announced that time was up and the battle was about to begin. The two got to their position and waited for midnight to give the signal. In the audience, the crowd was full of many people, even pros. However, there was one person in particular that was here for special reasons. She was wearing a trench coat and hat so no one would notice her. It was no other than the number 9 pro hero Ryukyu. She was there after an intern of hers told her about a special first-year student. She would have rather been at her cabin in the field on days like this, since she liked to be in the home of her ancestors. But that all changed after a certain green-haired student won the festival race in a matter of moments. Maybe Nejire was right, she thought to herself. Maybe this is worth my time. Back with Deku. The teams were all set up for the cavalry battle. Many people were shocked to see Deku teaming up with Minta. But they stopped staring at them when Midnight spoke into the speakers. Okay, students, remember. Your goal is to get as many points as you can before time runs out. If your team falls over or loses all their headbands, you are still allowed to compete. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 30-minute time period will be in first place. The top 4 teams will move on to the final event. Now everyone get ready. The teams all got in ready positions, and they all set their sights for Deku and Minta. Minta started to feel worried. Deku, are you sure that your plan will work? Of course it will, Minta. You just do the first part and I'll handle the rest. Minta nodded his head with a scared look on his face. Midnight then began to start the battle. On your marks. Everyone prepared to charge for Deku's team. Get set. Midnight raised her whip in the air. Get ready, Midoriya. Todoroki said to himself. You may have won the first event easily, but you will not win this one the same way. I will win this without even using my fire side. That will show that old man he means nothing to me. Go! Midnight threw her whip downwards, cracking it. All the teams immediately went after Deku's team. Minta looked afraid, but Deku then said, All right, here it goes. Get ready, Minta. Deku then powers up to 50% full cowling, just as everyone was near him, and suddenly vanished from the spot he was on. Everyone looked around to try to find him. There they are, Kirishima said, pointing to the other side of the field. Let's go get. Kirishima, Tsu said. Where's your headband? It's right on my. Kirishima felt his forward only to find it bare. He then realized that Tsu also didn't have a headband and asked where hers was. Soon everyone realized that all their headbands were missing. They searched themselves everywhere, but then they all saw something that truly stunned them. On Deku's shoulder was a cheering Minta, who was wearing not only his headband, but every single headband. No way, Toru said. How did he? Todoroki said, but then shook his head. Never mind that. We must get our points back before time runs out. Everyone then charged at Deku's team again. But when they were close, he once again disappeared from sight. What happened next was basically a game of cat and mouse. If there were 13 cats and 1 mouse, and all the cats were terrible at their job. Every time it looked like Deku was cornered, he simply disappeared in a spark of electricity. The closest team to get to him was Ida's team. Thanks to Ida's special move he called Recipro Burst. But as fast as he was, Ida still couldn't catch Deku. By the time the 30 minutes were up, all the other teams collapsed on the ground exhausted. In the end, only Deku's team had headbands and was the absolute victor. Well, folks. It looks like the first place and only place team is Izuku Midoriya's team. However, we still need 3 other teams. How will you decide them? Here's an idea. Eraserhead said, Have a battle royal. A battle royal. Yeah, everyone versus everyone. It seems like a fair and entertaining way to choose the winners. Great idea, Eraserhead. Looks like you make a good co-host after all. Don't embarrass me, Mike. Well, students, looks like we're having a battle royal. Everyone except Izuku's team will participate. In order to win, you must be one of the remaining students in the field. You have 10 minutes to prepare yourselves, staring now. The students quickly made a plan to win, while Deku and Mida sat at Midnight's podium in order watch. Midnight constantly tried to cuddle Deku, but with Mida there, that was somewhat impossible. The battle royal began, and everyone did their best. But in the end, there were only 14 people standing. There it is, folks. The 14 students that will go on to the final event. Katsuki Bakuyu 1A. Shoto Todoroki 1A. Tetsu 1B. Ejiro Kirishima 1A. Hitoshi Shinsa 1C. Ochako Uraraka 1A. Fumikage Tokoyami 1A. Toru Hagakure 1A. Momo Yaoyorozu 1A. Denki Kaminari 1A. Kajiro Bondo 1B. Jiroda Shishida 1B. Ibara Shiozaki 1B, and finally, Toguru Kamakiri. They will be in our final event, which is one-on-one battles. But before that, we will take an hour-long break for lunch. You guys do that, I'm gonna take a nap, Eraserhead said, putting his head down. Deku walked towards the cafeteria alone, but was soon stopped by Todoroki. Oh hey Todoroki, you did good out there in the battle royal. You've been doing good as well, a bit too well. Todoroki then cleared his throat. Midoriya, you know that I have combined quirk. It gives me fire and ice powers. I got it through a quirk marriage. I know that. But it's hard to believe that when I've never seen you use your fire. Do you know why I don't use it? Cause of my stupid father Endeavor. What? You mean the number 2 hero? He's more than that. He's also a filthy piece of crap who forced my mother into marriage in order to have powerful children like me and my sister. So, he doesn't treat your mom right or something. He treats her the farthest thing from right. That bastard never really loved my mother, or me and my siblings. All he cares about is being number abuse towards my mother got so bad. It made her pour boiling water on my face just because my fireside reminded her of him. And that got her sent to a mental hospital. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't be. I didn't come to talk about my family. I came to ask about yours. Mine? Yes, after what I've seen from you today and what I saw at the USG. It's no secret that your strength and speed are similar to All Might. I know you told us that your quirk is different from his, but if have a combined quirk, who's to say you don't? What are you getting at, Todoroki? Deku, are you All Might's secret love child? Deku was a bit taken aback, but he pulled himself together and knew what to do next. He reached for his phone and put his screensaver display. Here, Todoroki, look. This is a picture of me and my parents. My father is the man in the suit. He works across seas and me, and my mom only see him when we go on vacation in the summer. Todoroki looked at the photo closely and saw that the man in the photo did share some resemblance with Deku, and the women shared some as well. So you're saying you're not All Might's son? Of course I'm not. But your mother is could surely catch the eyes of a pro hero. Also, you look more like your mother than your father. Maybe your mother had an... Todoroki then felt a fist rush by him and hit the wall next to him. He looked at Deku, who had an angered look on his face. I appreciate the compliment, but don't think that way about my mother, Deku said with a hit of anger in his voice. He then continued to the cafeteria, leaving Todoroki surprised. In the cafeteria. Well, that was something, Mina said. Yeah, I can't believe Deku won that so easily, Uraraka said. I knew he was fast, but I didn't think he was that fast. Well, that's just Deku for you, Katsuki said, guys full of surprises. Yeah, it was surprising that of all the people he could have teamed up with, he chose that little perv Minta. Gyro said. Hey, it's not my fault he wanted to team up with his best friend, Minta said. Best friend? Yeah, right, Gyro said. Everyone knows that's Bakugo. Well, I'm his second best friend, Minta said, completely ignoring the fact that no one believed him. Hey guys, Deku said. Hey Deku, good job so far. You're doing amazing, Ida said, walking up to him. Soon the whole class was surrounding Deku to praise him. Some of the girls also tried to hug him, saying it was a victory hug. Deku turned them all down though. He knew that this was because of his pheromones. But the girls were being a bit more aggressive today. He was about to think about why. But that's when a woman spoke from behind all of them. Izuku, my baby. You're the front runner of the festival. I knew this would happen. Deku turned to see his mother. He quickly ran to hug her. Thanks, Mom. I'm glad you could be here to see me. I hope you're enjoying it. Don't worry, sweetheart, I am. Your principal gave me a VIP card that lets me have free food and backstage access. That's why I'm able to be here, so that I can meet your class in person. Oh yeah, you did want to do that. Deku turned to his class and said, Everyone, this is my mom. Her name is Inko Midoriya. She's the one that cooks for me. Took me to play in the park when I was a kid, and Deku stopped when he noticed his class was staring at them dumbfounded. Guys, what's? Deku then saw all the guys in his class had blood running from their noses, even Todoroki and Ida. The girls were also in a stupor, but unlike the guys, they had no blood from their noses. Deku then looked at his mother and noticed something that made his stomach twist. He was so happy to see his mother that he didn't realize that she was wearing a dress with high heels that put her at a height of about 6 ft. The dress she wore was white, and her high heels matched it. The dress was sleeveless, and the hem went up to her upper thighs. And to top it off, it had a big opening that completely exposed her massive cleavage. Visual aid below. Sorry if it's a bit much, but at least I made it small. Mom, Deku said, looking away. What are you wearing? I told you I need to get ready. Although I do feel like it's a bit much. Do you feel that way, dear? Deku wanted to tell her to go home and change right away. However, today was special, and she was already here. So he just had to suck it up. No, Mom, you look good. Thanks, baby. Anyway, Mom, this is my class, he said, trying to hide his embarrassment. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Dekus told me all about you guys. Especially about how hard you all fought at the Usj attack. It's no wonder you all got so far in the competition. While the class was still in a bit of stupor, someone finally broke the silence. That someone was Yaoyorozu. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. My name is Momo Yaoyorozu. Oh, I know you. You do? Yes, Deku talks about you a lot. How much time you two spend together, since you two are the class president and vice president. Oh, really? Yaoyorozu said. Yes, and let me say, you're even more beautiful than Izuku described. Momo and Deku's faces both went red, and Inko just smiled. The other girls then began to ask Inko what Deku said about them. She soon found herself in a swarm of questions. Eventually, everyone calmed down and went back to eating their lunch before their break was up. Before they did, Kaminari went up to Inko and asked her one more question. How old are you? He said out loud. Before Inko could respond, Kaminari was slammed on the head and laid motionless on the floor. Everyone was surprised, even Inko. That's when Deku said, Don't ask those kinds of questions about my mother, he said with red cheeks. After lunch break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, President Mike said. It's time for the finale event of the festival, one-on-one battles. Students will face off against each other. One of them wins by knocking the other student out, or out of bounds. The student who comes first will win the sports festival. Come on already, the sooner we finish the sooner I can leave, Eraserhead said. Glad to see you're excited as well. Anyway, let's see what the first set of matches are. The matches are the same as in canon. However, Yuga has been swapped with Mainta. Sorry, Mina. Well, folks, the first match is Izuku Midoriya v Hitoshi Shinso. Deku went to get ready for the battle, and everyone told him good luck. Even his mother told him before she went back to her seat in the audience. Deku was then approached by Ojiro and told him to be careful with Shinso, since his quirk seemed manipulative. Deku told him he would be careful and continued to the battle. Once on the field, Deku was met with cheers all around him. He knew that it was because he was doing so well in the festival, and he felt proud of himself. He then entered the stage and President Mike told them to begin. Just as Deku was about to move, Shinso spoke to him. So you're the lead runner of the festival. I gotta say your quirk is impressive. But I don't plan to lose to you. Well, thanks. Deku said, and I don't plan to lose either. Deku stopped mid-sentence and froze. Great. Now listen to me, Izuku. I want you to be a good boy and walk off stage. Deku then began to move and the crowd was shocked. Well, it looks like I was right. That is the brainwashing boy. President Mike said, looks like Midoriya is in trouble. Midoriya's class looked in fear. Was Deku really about to lose? Come on, Deku, fight it, Uraraka yelled. Dang, I can't move my body. Deku thought to himself, am I really gonna lose? Deku then saw several shadowy figures appear before him. He recognized them from the dream he had before the earthquake. One of them tapped Deku's hand and right after, a large burst of wind was created from Deku's figure. This was enough to get him out of the trance. Shinso tried to get him to talk again, but Riku didn't respond. Using 30% full cowling, Deku lunges at Shinso and hits him with a Detroit smash. Shinso flies off the stage and lays on the ground. The crowd then cheers for Deku. Shinso lies there hurt and embarrassed, until a hand reaches for him, and he looks to see none other than Deku. Why are you helping me? Because you deserve it. You almost beat me. Your quirk is really strong. You could probably become a pro someday. Really, I always thought my quirk was villainous and manipulative. Deku knew how that felt more than anyone. But he didn't say that out loud. Instead he said, don't think that way, unless you don't really want to be a pro. Your quirk is very powerful, and whether it's villains depends on you. Shinso realized he was right, grabbing his hand and getting up. Shinso and Deku fist bump each other and walk their separate ways. Wow, Kirishima said. Not only did he win, I think he made friends with that guy. That's Deku for you. Katsuki said. Everyone wants to be his friend. Well, that's no surprise. Momo said. He is really kind and handsome. What was that Yayurazu? Ochako asked her. Oh, I said he was really kind, that's all, Momo said, hiding her face. The girls stared at her coldly, but she didn't notice. The rest of matches went the same as canon. Only Mina lost since Mainta used his sticky balls to trap her, and even her acid couldn't melt them. And Yayurazu wins against Fumikage because she learned his light weaknesses in the Battle Royal and was able to neutralize him with flash grenades. Well, folks, that concludes the first round, President Mike said. Now it's time to see what the second round of fights will be. The screen then displayed the next fights. Izuku Midoriya vs Tenya Ida. Shoto Todoroki vs Ibara Shiozaki. Minoru Mainta vs Momo Yayurazu. Katsuki Bakugo vs Ijiro Kirishima. These are our next matches. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, for you are about to see some amazing battles. Don't try to sell it, Mike. You're only ruining the mood for them. Says you Eraserhead. Deku and Ida looked at each other and made their way to the battleground. On the way there, they had a small conversation. Well, Midoriya, looks like I'm gonna have to step out your shadow sooner than I thought. Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna let you win, Ida. Not after my promise. Promise? To who? Uraraka. It happened after her fight. Earlier in Recovery Girl's office, Uraraka woke up after getting destroyed by Katsuki. She woke up to find Deku standing next to her bed. Oh hey Deku. Hey Uraraka. Listen, I'm sorry about Katsuki. Sometimes he gets carried away with people. It's okay. No, it's not. Please let me make it up to you somehow. After all, I should have told him to go easier on you. Make it up to me. Yeah, I promise I'll beat Katsuki for you, and after that, I'm gonna take you out to eat somewhere. You decide where you want to go. Really? Uraraka's face lit up. Thank you, Deku. That would mean a lot. It's no problem. Now I gotta go. See you later. After Deku left, Uraraka called her parents on her phone. Hi, sweetheart, Uraraka's mom said. We're sorry you didn't win, but we're happy that you got on live TV. Thanks, Mom. But I wanted to tell you guys about something else. What is it? Uraraka's father asked. I know you guys will be here next week. And when you guys come, there's someone I want you to meet. Who is it? Her mother asked. It's a boy, she said nervously. Flashback ends. Wow, Midoriya, that's awfully generous of you. Thanks, Ida. But that doesn't mean I want you to go easy on me. I want to win this festival while everyone is doing their best. Understood. I will come at you with everything I have. I hope you do. Deku and Ida then went down different halls to get to separate sides of the ring. Deku then turned around and said, Hey Ida, make sure you push yourself to the limit. I will. Thank you for this opportunity to fight you, Midoriya. It means a lot to me. No thanks necessary. See you in the ring. In an unknown bar. A monitor on the bar table turns on, and the letter FO appear on the screen. Shigaraki, how is your observation going? A voice on the screen asked. Oh, hello, master. Shigaraki said. It's going great. The boy is in first place so far. Apparently, he's much faster than I first believed he was. Interesting. And what about new recruits for the league? We've had trouble finding some strong candidates. But there is this one guy who seems promising. Then hurry up and hire him. And make sure to study the boy's fighting styles. They are crucial to defeating him. Yes, master. The screen then turned off and Shigaraki sighed in relief. That's when Kurogiri, who was wearing his bartender outfit, spoke up. I trust you won't tell him about how you disintegrated the TV after the boy won the race. Oh, shut up. Where's that other TV you said we had? We have multiple of them, actually. After all, with a quirk like yours, having backup is necessary. Especially if I want to watch my favorite shows. Just get the TV. Kurogiri brought out an extra television and put it on the table. Once he plugged it in, he turned it to the sports festival, just in time to see Izuku's battle with Ida about to begin. Well, it looks like we made it just in time. Shigaraki said, that kid is about to battle someone. This is perfect to see his fighting styles. Yes, it is. Kurogiri said. Also, we've located the candidate you told your master about. He is in Hasu City. Should I bring him here? Not right now. Wait till after the festival is over. Right now, I need to put all my attention into that All Might wannabe. Shigaraki and Kurogiri didn't speak for the rest of the time. They were too focused on the fights. Back with Deku. Well, ladies and gentlemen, President Mike said, time to get this battle started. Izuku Midoriya vs Tenya Ida. Let the battle begin now. Are you ready, Midoriya? Tenya yelled across the arena. Of course I am. Hit me with your best shot. As you wish. Ida then charged up his special move, and when it is ready, he shouted, Recipro Burst. Ida launched at Deku at great speeds. When he got close enough, he tried to land a roundhouse on Deku. Just before he made contact, his foot was grabbed by Deku's hand. Ida was stunned. How could his reflexes be that good? Nice try, Ida, but not good enough. Deku said before throwing Ida by the legs straight out of the ring. The crowd cheered for Deku's victory, and Ida went up to him to congratulate him. Great job, Midoriya. Looks like I still have a ways to go. Don't be so hard on yourself. You did great. Let's head back to others. The two went back to their seats where they were both praised for their performance by their classmates. Even Class 1B students praised them, and by them I mean only Deku. The next match was between Ibara and Todoroki. Deku had wished them both good luck before they left, but Ibara needed it the most. The two stood in the arena and Present Mike started the match. Before they did anything, Ibara said something. Hey, if you think you can burn my vines so easily, you got another thing coming. Don't worry, I don't plan on using my fire. I shall win this festival with only my ice. Oh, aren't you cocky? Cocky, huh? Let me show you how cocky I am. Todoroki then created a large iceberg that went straight for Ibara. She tried to dodge, but she simply wasn't fast enough. The ice hit her and took her straight out of the ring, even into the crowd. Todoroki was announced the winner and everyone cheered. Even a certain fire-covered man who Todoroki couldn't care less about. Great job, Todoroki, Kirishima said as he returned to his seat. No praise necessary, but thank you. Okay guys, time for the next match. Deku said. Who is between again? Uraraka asked. I think it was, oh no. Deku said as he realized that Momo and Mainta were missing. Everyone looked to see that they were both in the area. Mainta had a pervy look on his face, while Momo looked enraged. This is gonna get pretty ugly, Deku said. In the arena. Present Mike started the battle and Mainta immediately spoke up. Well, Yaoyorozu. Looks like fate has brought us together. Mainta said with a cocky voice. I know what you're thinking, you little perv. You're not gonna lay a figure on me. Momo then created a shield and charged at Mainta. Mainta tried to stop her with his sticky balls, but she kept dodging them. Come on, Yaoyorozu. I already grabbed you before during the race. Why is this any different? That is exactly why I'm glad I got paired with you. This is payback. Momo then stepped on one of Mainta's stick balls and suddenly couldn't move. Haha, I got you now, Yaoyorozu. Oh, do you? Momo then undid her shirt and started to make something. Of course, Mainta didn't notice. He was too busy staring at Momo's large breast. He was then hit the face with a baseball bat she created and was knocked unconscious. Mainta is knocked out, Midnight said. So the winner is Momo Yaoyorozu. The crowd all cheered for her. Some even wolf whistled. Momo blushed as she made her way off stage and went back to her seat. That's where she was praised by her class. Mainta arrived sometime later and was given cold stares by all the girls. He ignored it though and went to his seat. Just then Deku went up to Momo and praised her on how she did. You did great, Yaoyorozu. You're just as smart as I thought you were. Really, Deku? Momo said, blushing. Yeah, you definitely deserve to be class president. Maybe even the #1 hero. Me? Oh no, I could never be the strongest hero. Yeah, maybe not the strongest, but you sure would be the prettiest. Deku said with a smile. Momo's face went completely red as she hugged Deku, thanking him. The other girls soon joined in for some reason. Girls, get off me. Deku nearly punched the girls off of him. They all stood there looking embarrassed. We're sorry, Deku, Ribbit, Tsu said. Yeah, we got carried away, Toru said. It's okay, girls, let's just move on and watch the next fight. You better watch the next fight, Katsuki said, because I want you to see how I'm gonna beat you, Deku. I'm looking forward to it, Kaken. Deku said. Don't get too cocky, boom. You're fighting me, and I don't plan to lose, Kirishima said, walking up to Katsuki. You may not plan to, but you're going to anyway. Save the trash talk for when you're in the Aryan, guys, Denki said. Yeah, you guys should head there right now, actually, Deku said. Okay, we will, Katsuki said. Make sure you watch me, Deku. I want you to see what's in store for you. Just make sure you win, Kaken. The two went down to the arena, and when Present Mike told them to start, Katsuki immediately rushed at Kirishima. Kirishima used his hardening quirk, but it was to no avail. Your hardening may have helped you against that metalhead Tetsutetsu, but it won't work on my explosions. Katsuki launches blast after blast at Kirishima. He was pushed back further and further until he fell out of bounds. Kirishima is out of the arena, Midnight said. The winner is Katsuki Bakugo. The crowd cheered for him and Katsuki simply smirked. He and Kirishima went back to their seats and received praises from everyone. Even Uraraka praised Katsuki, the person who burned her. You're not mad at me, round cheeks. No, of course not. It was part of the competition, I understand. Okay. Uraraka then thought to herself. Besides, Deku is gonna even the score for us in the finals. She chuckled to herself. All right, folks, second matches are done. Time to see who the semifinal matches will be. The matches were Momo Yaoyorozu vs Katsuki Bakugo, Izuku Midoriya vs Shoto Todoroki. These are our semifinal matches. People, are you as excited as I am? How can they be excited when you keep annoying them? Eraserhead said. Well, now we know how you feel. Anyway, would the first two contestants make their way to the arena? Katsuki and Momo got up and started to head towards the arena. That's when Deku spoke up. Yo, Kaken! Everyone turned to look at Deku. Don't treat Yaoyorozu the same way you treated Uraraka. It's not what a hero would do. Everyone agreed with Deku and Momo blushed a bit. It was nice how Deku cared about her. Relax, Deku. I'm just gonna one-shot her and get it over with. No need to worry. Oh, well, see about that, Momo said. The two then went down to the arena and stood off at each other. Present Mike told them to start and Katsuki launched at Momo. Your explosions can't penetrate my shield, Momo said. Oh, really? Katsuki then charged up a powerful blast and hit Momo at point blank. The impact sent her flying off the arena, and Midnight announced Katsuki as the winner. The two made their way back to the stands, where everyone praised Momo for doing well. Deku praised them both the most and Momo liked that especially. Deku and Todoroki were then called down for their match, and everyone wished them good luck. After they left, Minta went up to Momo. Well, Yaoyorozu, looks like you came in fourth place. Good job. Keep your praises to yourself, you perv, Momo said coldly. Minta then deciding to put his plan into motion. Hey, I think I hear Deku calling me. Be right back. Minta ran off and everyone was confused. With Todoroki. Todoroki made his way to the arena. On his way there, he ran into the last person he wanted to see, his father Endeavor. Hello, Shoto, Endeavor said. Back off, old man. Well, that's rude, especially since I came to wish you good luck. By good luck, you mean use my fire side. You've seen what that boy can do. You know you can't win without it. I can win this festival and be a hero without you or your stupid firepower. Sure you can, because the person you admire most told you that, right? What? I took the liberty of doing a background on Izuku Midoriya. According to news reports, he's learned how to use his pheromones in creative ways. But the primary function of them is to make everyone he meets admire him unconditionally. But you obviously already knew that, right? All I know is that you're a horrible person, and I can do this without you. We'll see about that. We most certainly will. Todoroki then walked away, and when he was almost at the arena, his phone went off. He picked it up and answered it. Hey, Todoroki, a girl said. Hey, Fuyami, what do you need? Nothing. I just wanted to call to ask you how you plan on beating this guy. Simple, with my ice. Simple? Have you not seen how fast he's been moving? Your worry too much speed won't matter if he can't move. And before you ask, no, I'm not going to use that stupid man's power. Okay? But that's not the only reason I called. What do you mean? Shoto, I'm watching the festival with her. Todoroki's eyes went wide. He knew exactly who her was. I just thought you should know, Fayumi said. Thanks, Fayumi. Now I have another reason to win. He then hung up his phone and went towards the arena. He then thought to himself, don't worry, mother. I will win this for you. With Deku. Deku was walking towards the arena when he turned a corner and ran into someone he didn't expect. The number 2 hero Endeavor. Oh wow, you're Endeavor. I didn't realize you were here this whole time, Deku said, fanboying out. It's a pleasure to meet you too. Endeavor said, you've done exceptional in the festival so far. Your quirk is very powerful, also very similar to All Might's. Yeah, I get that a lot, Deku said nervously. You know, it's my son's destiny to surpass All Might, which means he must also surpass you. Your son, you mean? Yes, Shoto Todoroki. However, if he truly wants to be the number 1 hero, then he must use my power. But for some reason he refuses. But you can fix that. Me? How? You're very powerful. All you have to do is push him to use his quirk. Do this for me, and I promise I'll send you an internship to my agency. Deku was surprised. He was asking some random student to force his son to do something he didn't want. Also, I did a little background check on you, and let me say you're a very interesting person. Also, your mother is very attractive. Is she single? Deku suddenly felt an urge to vomit. He realized that Todoroki was right about his father. Deku knew what he had to say. No, he said firmly. No, Endeavor asked. No to your deal, and no to my mother. If you had done a proper background check, then you would have known that she is married, and from what I've heard, so are you. How could you have such thoughts? That's so unheroic. Endeavor was about to say something, but was cut off. Todoroki deserves a fair fight, without any interference. I'll get him to use his fire, but not because you said so, because he needs to learn how to put everything he has in a fight. Deku then walked away, leaving Endeavor speechless. In the arena. Sometime later, Deku and Todoroki entered the arena, and were met with cheers all around. Just as Deku was about to step in bounds, he heard a voice from behind him. Woo, good luck, Deku. Deku looked, and what he saw made him blush. It was all the girls from his class wearing cheerleader outfits. Wow, folks, looks like Midoriya has his own private cheerleaders. Is he a ladies' man or what? Deku walked up to them to talk to them. Girls, what are you doing? We're here to cheer you on, silly, Toru said. Yeah, we really hope you win, Ribbit, Sue said. Thanks. But did you have to dress up? Of course. That's what you asked for, right? What are you talking about? Before they could answer, they heard a cheer from the stands. Woo, your plan worked, Minta, Denki said. I told you it would, Minta said. Plan? What plan? Deku said. I think he means that he tricked us, Mono yelled. Earlier in the stands, Minta came back to his seat after he briefly went to the hallway. Hey, Yaoyorozu. Not interested. Okay, then I won't tell you what Deku said. What do you mean? He told me that he wants all of you to cheer for him down on the field in these cheerleader outfits. Minta brought out a bag of uniforms, and the girls looked at him suspiciously. Why should we believe you? Gyro said. Because it makes sense. Why wouldn't Deku want pretty girls like you to cheer him on? He called us pretty? Uraraka asked. He did. And he said you'd be even more pretty in this uniforms. The girls all blushed, and some even sighed in awe. Okay, give us those things. Momo grabbed the bag and looked at all the girls. Let's get the locker rooms quickly. We don't want to miss Deku's fight. The girls all agreed and followed Momo to the locker room, while Minta went back to his seat and smirked. Minta, Denki said, did Deku really tell you that? No, but they don't need to know that, Minta said with a pervy smile. Flashback ends. Why the little perv? I'm gonna... Momo was interrupted by Uraraka. Let it go, Yaoyorozu, it's too late. Momo dropped on her knees and was visibly upset. That's when Deku spoke up. Don't be upset, Yaoyorozu. You look beautiful in that uniform. Really? Momo blushed. Of course, you all do. The rest of the girls began to blush as well. Well, in that case, we're still gonna cheer for you, Toru said. You guys don't have to. But we want to. Uraraka said. You've been cheering for us this whole time. It's the least we can do. Okay then. Deku stepped in the arena as the girls cheered for him. You've got a fan club, huh? Todoroki said. Don't focus on them, focus on me. As you wish. Well, folks, time to get this show on the road. You boys ready? Okay, battle begin. Present Mike shouted. Listen, Deku, you may be fast, but let's see how your strength is. Todoroki then launched an ice attack at Deku, who quickly charged up to 30% and dodged it. Todoroki continued to launch attack after attack, but Deku was simply too fast to catch. Deku then got close to Todoroki and punched him in the gut. Todoroki nearly went out of bounds. Luckily, he put an ice wall to save himself. All right, Deku, you asked for this. Todoroki then charged up his ice and released an attack shouting, heaven-piercing ice wall. A large glacier came at Deku, but he quickly threw a 30% smash at it, and it broke into pieces. Wow, man. He just smashed a glacier that looked big enough to cover the arena with one attack. Actually, by my calculations, it would have gone outside the stadium. And yet Izuku managed to smash it to dust. He truly is no pushover. The fight continued on for some time with Todoroki constantly trying to freeze Deku and Deku dodging, then hitting Todoroki with his own attacks. Deku then noticed Todoroki's left side was getting frozen from using his ice too much. He knew what he had to tell him. Todoroki, you need to use your fire. What? Your body is freezing up. You need to use your fire to warm yourself up. My father put you up to this, didn't he? How much is he paying you? It's not like that, Todoroki. Right now, I'm not even using my full power. That's because I don't want to go all out if you're not going to do the same. No, I won't use that man's power. His power? It's not his power, it's yours. You decide how you use it, not him. You have to give it your all. It's not fair to everyone else who gives it their all and fails. Todoroki realized that Deku was right. This power was his own. He decided what he would do with it. He then remembered a memory of his mother, where she told him something similar. That's when Todoroki's right side lit up, and his left side defrosted. Okay, Deku, you want my best? Here's my best. Todoroki began to charge up a fire blasts at Deku. Deku smiled and said, Great, Todoroki, now I can do my best. Deku then went up to 50% power and ran straight at Todoroki. When they got close, they launched their attacks. Deku shouted, Detroit Smash, and Todoroki launched a massive Fu blast at Deku. When their hits collide, Mr. Cementos had to create a wall of concrete around them to protect the audience. The concrete barely held, and the wind pressure blew some of the audience back. When the dust cleared, everyone looked to see what lied out of bounds with half his shirt burned off. And Deku stood there with a few burns, but other than that he was fine. He held his thumb up and smiled. Todoroki is out of bounds, Midnight said. The winner is Izuku Midoriya. The audience cheered loudly and Deku couldn't help but bask in the glory. After that was over, Deku went to Recovery Girl's room to check on Todoroki. Meanwhile, in an unknown warehouse, an ash-blonde girl with a twin-bun hairdo in a school uniform was watching the fight on an old TV. She saw how Deku won the fight, and she was overjoyed. Wow, that cutie with the green hair actually won. That's too bad since I wanted to see him bleed. Still, he is so strong and cute. The girl was blushing as she saw Deku's face on the screen. I hope I can meet him in person someday. She then picked up a knife on the table. That way I can make him bleed to see how tasty his blood is." The girl smiled sadistically. Back with Deku. Todoroki woke up in Recovery Girl's room and saw Deku standing by his bed. "Well done, Todoroki. You did great," Deku said. "Thanks, Deku. Thank you for helping me see my potential." "No thanks necessary. I'm just glad you didn't hold back." "Don't get too comfortable, Deku. Next time, I will be the victor." "Sure you will. Anyway, I gotta go get ready for the last match. It's me versus Kaken." "Really? You guys are like best friends, thought. Won't that make fighting each other hard?" "Not at all. Me and Kaken used to spar as kids. This will be just like old times. Only this time I won't lose." "Okay? I should be well enough soon so I can watch." "I hope you do. I want everyone to see what I have in store for Kaken." Deku smirked and walked out the room. Todoroki thought to himself, "What does he mean in stored?" Before Recovery Girl showed up and started treating his wounds. At the arena. "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final match of the festival. It's about time. Let's get this over with so I can leave," Eraserhead said. "Honestly, after spending this much time with you, I kinda feel the same way. Anyway, allow me to present our two contestants. In this corner, we have the explosive student with the explosive temper, Katsuki Bakugo." The crowd cheers as Katsuki makes his way to the arena while making little explosives in his hand. And in this corner, we have the front runner of the whole festival, and from what I've witnessed, a total chick magnet, Izuku Midoriya. Deku walks towards the arena while the crowd roars with cheers, much greater than they cheered for Bakugo. Deku then heard more cheers from behind him and turned to see what it was, and was surprised, as was the whole crowd. It was the girls from Deku's class still in cheerleader outfits, with the Class 1B girls as well. Ibara, Kendo, and a bunch of other girls. "Are you guys here too?" "Yes, Izuku," Kendo said. "We're here to cheer you on." Thanks, ladies," Deku said, and the girls all smiled at him. Wow, it never ceases to amaze me how good Midoriya is with the ladies. "Yeah, it almost makes me jealous," Eraserhead said. "Whoa, Eraserhead, did you just make a joke?" "Maybe. Why?" Enough of the jokes. Let's get this battle started. You boys ready? Begin." "Wow, Deku, you got your own cheer squad," Katsuki said. "Don't focus on that, Kaken. Focus on the fight." "Oh, I will. How else am I gonna beat you?" "You're not. This won't be like old times. I'm gonna win this battle." "Show me then." Katsuki charges at Deku and attempts to burn him with explosions. But Deku goes straight into 50% and dodges all of his attacks. This goes on for a while until Deku decides to show off his technique he was saving. "Hey Kaken, you're doing really great. I think you deserve to have a taste of my new move." "New move?" "Yeah, I was saving it just for you." Deku then powered down to 5% and launched a black tendril at Katsuki, who barely dodged it. "So, you did train yourself to master that move?" "You know I did. And I know that you spend the last 2 weeks preparing something of your own, right?" "I'm glad you asked. I actually do. And since you showed me your new trick, it's only fair I show you mine." "Then do it already." "Okay." Katsuki then ran towards Deku and launched himself into the air with his explosions. While in the air, he began to spin around quickly and was surrounded by fire. He headed straight for Deku, who quickly powered up to his max and began to counter. Katsuki yelled, "Howitzer impact," while Deku yelled, "Detroit smash." Mr. Cementos was once again forced to contain the resulting explosion. Only this time the cement was completely destroyed, and there was a huge gust of wind all throughout the stadium. When the smoke cleared, everyone looked to see who was still standing. What they saw shocked them. Katsuki was still in the ring, but was clearly injured. Deku was in the ring as well with a few burns on his body. But what really caught people's attention was the fact that his shirt had been burned off by the attack. Deku stood there with a smile on his face and his shredded body out for everyone to see. Wow, Zero said. Deku took that blast, and all it did was burn his shirt. He truly is the manliest guy I've met. Kirishima said. Yeah, he is something else. Denki said, isn't that right, Mainta? Mainta? Denki looked to see Mainta staring not at Deku, but somewhere else. What are you? Denki then saw something truly interesting. The cheerleaders who were dancing a moment ago were now standing there motionless. Their eyes widened and blood ran from all their noses. Wow. Mina said. I didn't know Deku was so ripped. She said as drool started to come out of her mouth. Hey Yaoyorozu, could you make me some binoculars? Gyro said. What? No ladies, we need to stop. We already have one pervert in this school, Momo said. You say that, and yet you're recording this with your phone, Ochako said. Momo quickly put her phone away and tried to play it cool, but the blood from her nose made that difficult. The girls continued to stare, and everyone in the audience began to take photos of their own. Really? Denki said. I never thought the girls would be capable of this. Man, I gotta say, Minda said before tears ran down his face. I'm so jealous of Deku. Meanwhile, in an unknown warehouse. Oh my god, the ash blonde said looking at the screen. The now shirtless Deku was on the entire screen. The girl stared with bated breath. I was wrong. He's not cute, he's hot. That six-pack, those pecs. And the burns really fit him well. I have to meet this guy. The girl then realized that her hand was reaching under her skirt. She knew what that meant. Should I? Sure, I've got time. That day, the police would get a noise complaint from someone. They claimed there was probably an injured animal in an abandoned warehouse. Later, when the police went to investigate, all they found was an old TV and a chair with a puddle next to it. Back with Deku. Wow, Kaken, that actually almost got me. Deku said, getting into a stance. Really? Good to know my work is paying off. Also, how did you get ripped? That's a story for another time, dude. But now it's time to finish this thing. Deku then launched another Black Whip attack at Katsuki. He tried to dodge, but that last attack had taken a toll on his body, so the attack got him. Katsuki was then knocked out of the ring by a tendril and laid on the floor exhausted. Wow, what a battle. Looks like the winner is, you know what, I'll let Midnight have this one. Take it away, girl. Present mic was met with silence for a few moments. Midnight, I said take it. Present mic was cut off by Eraserhead. I don't think she's listening, he said, pointing to Midnight. She was standing there just as motionless as the cheerleaders, as well as having a bloody nose. Midnight, Present mic shouted. Midnight snapped out of her stupor and announced Deku as the winner, all while wiping the blood of her nose. The crowd roared with cheers, and Deku went to help Kaken up and took him to Recovery Girl's office. At the office, Katsuki was quickly healed by Recovery Girl. Deku was also given a new shirt by her, but for some reason, she tried to put it on him herself. Of course, Deku didn't allow this for obvious reasons. And the two made their way to the winner's circle to receive their rewards. Listen, Deku, don't hurt too comfortable. Next time we fight, I'll win, and it will be a gloves-off fight. Katsuki said, looking determined. I'm looking forward to it, Kaken. Now let's hurry up and get to the field. At the field, there were stands that held up the three winners of the festival. Todoroki was third, Katsuki was second, and Deku was first. All Might appeared from the sky and presented the winners with their medals. First, Todoroki. Excellent work, Shoto. Once you master your fire and ice powers, you can surely become one of the top 10 heroes. Thanks, sir, Todoroki said. Next, Katsuki. Katsuki Bakugo, you are clearly a powerful student. But you must learn how to control your anger. A true hero must have control of their emotions after all. Whatever, just give me the stupid medal. Katsuki yelled, snatching the medal from All Might. Finally, Deku. Young Midoriya, your immense power and techniques are beyond words. I know that you can become a top pro hero, maybe even the next #1 hero. All Might winked at Deku, and he winked back. Thanks, All Might. I will keep training, and I will become a pro. Deku took the medal and raised his fist in the air. Well, that's the festival, everyone, All Might said. We hope you enjoyed it, and remember, everyone, go beyond. Everyone stood up and said with all might. Plus ultra. Outside the stadium. Hey guys, Deku said as he, Katsuki, and Todoroki walked to meet them at the exit. Hey Deku, you did great, Ochako said. Thanks. Hey, where's Ida? I don't see him. Deku asked. Hey said he had a family emergency. Ochako said. Earlier in the stands. Ida's phone went off during the match between Deku and Todoroki. Hello, mother. I'm sorry I didn't win. That's not what I called about, Ida's mother said. Ida was shocked. His mother didn't usually cut him off. Something must have happened. Mother, what? It's your brother, he's. Ida's mother began to weep on the phone. Ida knew something horrible had happened. Don't worry, mother. I'll be there soon. Ida hung up the phone and told everyone he had to go see his brother in Hasu City immediately. As he said that, he had a look of anger in his eyes. Flashback ends. I hope he's okay, Deku said. He said he'll be fine, Uraraka said. He also said he'll be back for the next day of school. Well, that's good to hear. Anyway, I think I'll head home with my mom now. I just have to find her first. Deku, what about your promise? Uraraka said. Promise? Mina said. Oh, that's right, Deku said. I promised to take you out to eat somewhere. Everyone was in shock, but Deku quickly explained that it wasn't a date. He was just trying to make her feel better after she got injured. Everyone understood what he meant, and Deku turned to Uraraka. I'll have to let my mom know first. I already do, a voice from behind him said. He turned to see his mother still in her revealing dress. He didn't have to look to know what the guys were doing. You're okay with this, Mom? Of course, baby. You're allowed to have friends. Just don't eat too much. I have a special meal for you at home. Okay then, see you later, Mom. See you, baby. Inko walked off and Deku and Uraraka said bye to their friends. They then went to a local sushi restaurant. They made sure to order small meals. Hey Deku, Uraraka said. Yeah. Your mom really loves you. She sure does. She always calls me nicknames. Her favorite being cinnamon roll. But thankfully I convinced her to only call me that at home. Your mom sure is beautiful too. That's thanks to Kakin Mom. They hang a lot, and she gets special moisture from her. She also works out at the gym when she isn't working or at home. You must feel pretty lucky to have her. If anyone feels lucky, it's my dad. Where is your dad anyway? Working across seas. Me and Mom only see him when we go on vacation in the summer. Wow, she take you every year? She must make a lot of money. Not a lot. She's only a cook. But she does plan to make a lot when she opens her own restaurant. She wants to do what? Wow, Deku. Your mom is so amazing. She must be really popular with people like you are. Oh, you don't know the half of it. Deku then tells Uraraka about how popular she is. One time when Deku was in kindergarten, his mother came to pick him up, and she kissed him on the forehead. Soon after, all the other boys lined up and asked her for a kiss as well. When Deku was 9, he and his mom went to a restaurant and a stranger paid for their food. The stranger was a man trying to impress her, but she turned him down and told him she was married. When Deku was 10, he and his mom were hanging out at the beach when a man came and started hitting on her. Inko tried to get him to leave peacefully, but he started touching her. That's when she broke his arm and almost got an arrest. If it wasn't for Deku's powers, she probably would have been in prison. Wow, Deku, your mom sure is faithful to your dad, Ochako said. Yeah, from what I've seen, every time they're together, they are the definition of a happy married couple. They make each other better every time they meet. You know, my dad actually convinced my mom to train her quirk. She told me she could only lift small objects when she was younger. But for as long as I remember, she can lift the whole kitchen table. My parents really bring out the best in each other. That's nice. It is. That's why I want the same thing. Excuse me. I want to find a girl who will fall for me the same way my mom fell for my dad, naturally. That's why I've never accepted a confusion from a girl under my quirk's effect. But remember what I told you. I do. But I've been thinking. It may be cruel to turn down someone's feelings. But isn't it also cruel to say you feel the same way when you really don't? Ochako was silent for a moment. Well, Deku, you could be right. But even if you don't like them at first, you might like them eventually. Yeah, you could be right. I mean, Yaoyorozu and I have been getting closer lately. Uraraka fought the urge to bend her fork and asked Deku her question. Deku, I know it's a bit much, but do you think you can meet my parents next week? Sure. Uraraka was stunned at how easy that was. Why the face? You just want me to meet them as a friend, right? Yet, totally. The two finished their meal and said goodbye to each other. Once Deku got home, he was met with a whole table of sushi. Wow, Mom, this looks great. Thanks, eat up my cinnamon roll. The two ate the sushi with pure joy, talking about how well Deku did and what he'll do when he becomes a pro. Deku also decided to ask something he didn't ask often. Hey, Mom, how much do you love Dad? What? I've just been wondering, what made you love him so much? Nothing made me, baby. I choose to love, could I not? I was fresh out of college and still a total mess. But taking an internship at a local agency was the best thing I did. After I met your father, my life quickly became a dream come true. Your father was the best thing to happen to me, and you, of course. Wow, Mom, I'm glad you feel that way. Anyway, I gotta get to sleep. I need to be ready for school, you know. Of course, baby. Good night. She kissed him on the forehead. Good night, Mom. Deku went to bed thinking to himself, man, next to All Might, my dad is my favorite hero. Meanwhile, at an unknown bar, a monitor on the bar turned on with the letters of foe on the screen. Shigaraki, how did it go? You won't believe it, Master. That brat actually came in first. He smashed and punched, and it was crazy. Interesting. It appears I was correct. The boy is All Might's successor. I never would have guessed that. Not with that stupid green hairdo of his. Green hairdo? Yes, sir. Kurogiri said. The boy's average height, average weight, nothing special except for his power. What might those powers be? According to the background check I did on him, his quirk is something called active pheromones. All for one went silent for a moment before asking. What's the boy's name? I believe his name is Izuku Midoriya. All Might went silently again for much longer this time. Shigaraki got worried at this. Master, are you all right? All for one came out of his stupor and said, I'm all right. I just wasn't expecting the boy to have such a ridiculous name. Shigaraki laughed. Ha, I couldn't agree with you more, Master. All jokes aside, you now have the info you require. Are you preparing for your next move? Yes, we have located the candidate we've been seeking. His name is Stain, Aka the Hero Killer, and he is in Hasu City. We plan to invite him here and convince him to join. Well, do it then, and contact me when you're done. Yes, Master, Shigaraki said, and with that the monitor went off. Kurogiri, keep an eye on the news for his next strike. After that you should be able to warp to that location and find him real easily. As you wish, sir, Kurogiri said as he polished a bottle. Meanwhile, All for One sat in an unknown location and thought about the name he heard. It couldn't be, could it? He quickly looked on a computer in the room and looked up the sports festival. He saw pictures of many of the students, but what he really cared about was the first place student. When he saw the picture of the awards ceremony, he saw the winner. It was a green-hair boy with freckles on his face. And if that wasn't enough, earlier he had received a message from someone named Darling that their son had won the sports festival. All for One smashed the computer with his strength quirk and sulked in the corner of the room, saying to himself, "This can't be. The successor to my sworn enemy All Might is my son."